It all started on a Tuesday, when Ivan Makarov walked out of his log cabin near the Podkamenia Tunguska and saw the sky tear open. The date was June 30th, 1908. For people in the scattered Evenki settlements, Vanavara, Kerensk, Yakutsk, the morning after meant rivers choked with dead fish, charred trunks pointing like fallen columns, and a silence that did not belong to any natural spring. By the 1920s, Leonid Kulik, the Imperial Museum's stubborn meteorite hunter, drove his rickety truck into that dead ring and catalogued what later science called an airburst, flattening some 2,000 square kilometers. Official bulletins in St. Petersburg and later Moscow labeled it a bolide. But in the margins of Kulik's notebooks, and in a pile of telegrams stamped and redacted by three empires, a different story lived. One of experiments, long-range radio tests, and an international traffic in secrecy that straddled science and statecraft. Kulik's notebooks mention eyewitness testimony that Ivan Makarov provided, a low hum before light, aurora like curtains at noon, a metallic taste on the tongue. Makarov, a forestry inspector, later spoke in a letter, preserved in the Krasnoyarsk archive, of a Zoomeringer machine on the horizon 2 nights before the blast, ships with masts that glowed like coils. That image did not fit a falling meteor, it fit better with rumors circulating in London salons, New York labs, and the salons of St. Petersburg, about a very modern ambition, control of the ether. Between 1899 and 1908, names like Nikola Tesla and Guglielmo Marconi dominated newspapers. Secretly, retired Admiralty engineers in Greenwich and a handful of Russian officers wondered whether focused electromagnetic energy, or resonance, could bend air into a weapon. The Royal Society's minutes survive, thin with euphemism, recording a November 1907 meeting about directed wave experiments, attended by Sir Oliver Lodge and an unnamed foreign representative. Across Europe, industrialists funded laboratories. In a sealed chest at a Marconi station in Cornwall, a ciphered logbook from 1908 mentions a test window over Siberia. So a conspiracy narrative took shape, a private Anglo-Russian consortium, using prototype transmitters inspired by Tesla's Wardenclyffe notes and Marconi's tuning, tried to deflect a small incoming fragment, or to demonstrate atmospheric focusing. On June 28th to 30th, the tests interacted with an approaching meteoroid, concentrating energy into a plasma field at a precise altitude. The result was not the controlled shaping of weather or debris, but a violent, pear-shaped fireball that detonated over Tunguska, flattening forest, shattering windows in Irkutsk, and sending a pressure wave recorded on barographs as far west as Paris. Conspiracies hung on absence, missing logs from the Admiralty, a shipment of vacuum tubes that disappeared in Aberdeen, an assistant who boarded a train to Helsinki, and was never seen again. Kulik's later Soviet-era expeditions turned up metallic spherules that local lab technicians passed off as cosmic dust. Those same particulates, re-examined by a chemist at Novosibirsk State University in 2013, yielded slightly anomalous iron isotope ratios and traces of processed copper, elements suggestive of high-temperature industrial processes not expected in a natural bolide. Government archives in Britain and Russia have since released pages that admit only to interest and correspondence. The rest remains blacked out. KGB memos, declassified in the 1990s, used the incident as a rubric for later programs. If energy could be focused in 1908, imagine what 1945 or 1962 might bring. UFO hunters folded Tunguska into a longer quilt of sightings. Military historians drew a line from the hush to Operation Crossbow, and the silence of Cold War laboratories. Yet the cleanest narrative, an asteroid that exploded in the upper atmosphere, still sits in the textbooks. The more troubling one, stitched from Kulik's notes, Makarov's taste of metal, and scattered fragments from London to St. Petersburg, suggests something else. A human hand. Hubris, dressed as research, a private consortium pressing the edge of physics, without telling the public what it meant to play with an atmosphere. Today, as satellite arrays measure geomagnetic ripples and citizen scientists comb tree rings and ice cores, Tunguska remains a node in a long conspiracy constellation. The papers released in 2018 from a British private archive show only one additional entry: an unsigned receipt for transmission coils, consignment to Siberia, June 1908. It is enough to keep the rumor alive. Because conspiracy stories never die, they are not only about facts. They are about the gap between what states tell us and what men with tools do when they believe the future belongs to them. In the century since that Tuesday, humans have learned how to split atoms, to focus waves, and to map the sky. But the secrets of 1908, part meteor, part machine, part mistake, still sit quietly in the forest, where charred tree stumps still point at silence, and where Ivan Makarov's letter waits in an archive, asking us to listen for the hum before the light.